Good morning, guys. Good afternoon. We made it. It is Friday. Welcome. And a huge welcome to Project Storytime, who's joining me today. Hello.
Hello, Purple.
And congratulations for being first. Well done.
I was. Take that, Chris.
Much to the much to the disappointment of Chris Berger. It always makes me laugh to see who gets the first spot. I love it. As you guys can say, we are going to be delving into this mess with the Lord of the Rings and a fan site that apparently hates fans. But before we jump into it, let me say hello. Let me say hi to everyone. So we've got Chris Persia and Mark the Infinitely Tired, the Bash Brothers. Hello, guys. Good morning. We have got Snorterpoopers Cuba, Golgo13. Welcome. We have got Perez. Good to see you. We've got Colin P. Smith. Good afternoon. We've got Naughty Monkey O'Rath. Sorry, I've just seen Chris's. It's too purple. I'm sorry, Chris. Dave Bob. Hello, sir. Good to see you. We have got just another red shirt joining us. Good morning. Andrew 46 and 2. Hello. Gun Bunny. Hello, sweetheart. Welcome. Let me scroll up and see who else is with us. We've got Dadman55. Good to see you. We've got Low Spec Linux Laptop. Good morning. Keely Chow. Roll Tide, Keely. Good to see you. Hey. Let's see to make sure I'm not missing anyone. We've got T-shirted Historian. Hello, love. Good to see you. Welcome. And D-Bud Martin, I missed you. Hey, and Dave G Sound. Good morning, guys. Welcome. Good to see you. Hope everyone's doing well. And we have got super chats right off the bat. So let me grab those and say a big thank you. First to Chris Persia. He sends us a $10 super chat. Thank you, sweetheart. He says, the One Ring.net falsely claims Tolkien was woke. Yes, his staunch beliefs are what transposed the idea of fighting to tear down Sauron, the literal representation of a Marxist dictatorship. Exactly.
Pretty much,
well
yeah.
said. And if anyone's been following the thread on Twitter, hilarity ensued when they actually got schooled and ratioed by pretty much everybody when they couldn't provide a actual definition of what they considered woke.
Now, hold on, Purple. They are so committed to their convictions that they just start deleting everything instead of providing any evidence because they're committed. Damn it.
Absolutely, yes. It's another case of believe my truth until we're found to be, lying, and then we're just going to pretend it never happened.
Pretty much.
And a big thank you to Phoenix Tangent, who sends us a $5 super chat with a little heart. Thank you, sweetheart. And good to see you as always. So, Project Storytime. I've got to ask.
Yes.
You are a Tolkien fan, obviously.
I am.
Seen the Lord of the Rings films, read the books. How does it feel to find out that you're actually an Istinophobe and that you secretly hate Tolkien?
Same way I felt when I was told that as a Star Trek fan that I'm on those things as well. It just okay. I've been there, done that now.
Yeah, it's kind of
this one has the unique aspect to it of this is just from other fans as opposed to people actually in control of it now, though.
Yes, that was an interesting scenario, wasn't it? So this isn't anything coming from the official Amazon production, who have been very quiet, I've noticed. Not a word from them on any of this. But yes, this is a fan site that took it upon themselves to attack the fans. Interesting.
Yay.
An interesting take. Let's see how that pans out. But you were telling me in the green room that they're actually kind of very much trying to get to the production of Amazon, aren't they?
Yes. if people are familiar with Lady Gravemaster, she actually did a video on this last night, where she actually found the Ring.com's Ring.net's YouTube
Mm-hmm.
channel, where just last week they were urging Amazon that they'd be more than happy to do interviews with the producers and the cast and whatever. So they're clearly trying to feel more legitimate, and look how important we are.
Yes. Would you call it clout chasing?
Very much so.
Uh-huh.
Very, very much so. They're because like
That was,
they don't control anything. They're not. They don't represent the Tolkien estate. They don't represent Lord of the Rings. They don't. They don't do anything with the actual books. They are just a group of fans. And
yep.
there's nothing wrong with a fan community, but then they started attacking anyone who has reservations about the new Amazon show of is it the beginning of the Second Age? Is that what it is?
It is, yep. So obviously this takes
Yeah.
place before Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, like 1,000 years or so, I believe.
Oh yeah. This isn't a couple of years before, the stories take place. This goes back into the history of Middle
Mm-hmm.
Earth. But they're not the only ones, as we found out, that are kind of very much chasing this production. There's people coming out of the woodwork. One of the actors, I think we mentioned last night, who was in the Mortal Kombat film, he was
Yes.
seemingly angling for a, and he came out and claimed that there's no Asian representation to be
Yeah.
seen within the casting.
Yeah. Despite the fact that Tolkien actually does describe Asian-looking people in the books, and where they are is like about 3,000 miles away in a pre-industrial age from Middle Earth. So, like, yeah, they wouldn't be in that area.
I mean, if he wants to kind of make the journey, I suppose he can start walking now, but he's got a ways to go.
Yeah,
You can't just pick people up
across the
and just
desert and
drop
2
them.
mountain ranges, but okay.
See, this is what happens when people don't know the law. I think this is the fundamental argument that the fans kind of put down
Mm-hmm.
in regards to this kind of woke fiasco that's come about. Amazon, they want to make this show. And as time's gone on and information has been leaked, it's looking more and more likely that they are moving away from what makes Lord of the Rings, and they're trying
Mm-hmm.
to just recreate the success of another very famous um, fantasy show.
That fell flat on its face. So why are you trying to follow that model?
But boobies, Project Storytime, boobies.
This is true. And to be clear, there is nudity mentioned in the books, but it's never ever sexual. It's innocent. Like when Sam finds Frodo after Shelob's lair, the goblins took everything off of him. So Frodo's walking around naked for a little bit until Sam gives him an extra set of clothes. There's nothing sexual about that.
Nope.
So,
And
but
this is
yeah.
clearly the angle that they're going for. And let me just say a massive thank you to Rebecca Early, who sends us a $20 super chat. Thank you, sweetheart. It's a pair, and she says you are amazing. Well, you are amazing too, sweetheart. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good Friday. But no, you're absolutely right. There is, and I think this goes back obviously to Tolkien being a staunch Catholic as well. His religion, his beliefs, and his life experience were woven into these books.
Yeah, he served in World War One. He was a devout Catholic. He was a linguist. This is not someone who was woke in any way.
And Fetta says Thompson. Well, that would probably explain why he wasn't in the films. But yes, but as we've seen, information has been leaked. They're looking for intimacy coaches, I think they called them. They put on the casting.
What is their term? Intimacy coordinators.
That sounds terrible, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
When when you actually put on your casting list, your actors have to be comfortable with nudity and full frontal nudity. It doesn't exactly scream Tolkien to me.
In Lord of the Rings.
Uh-huh.
Like, okay.
Ideas. And hello, Adega. Welcome. I need to apologize to Adega. As I disappointed him this morning.
Yes, I was there.
Yeah.
And seeing his abuse of you, how hurt he was. I also did not mention that I've not seen Babylon 5 yet. I just let you suffer through that alone.
Thanks for that. Oh my god, thank you, Adega. It says weak writing and self-abusive minds always delve into the base drives of the hindbrain. These people let their genitals rule their thought processes, hence crap shows coming. Well said.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's already called it. If it is this case that they're trying to emulate Game of Thrones, then
yeah. Like it's not Game of Thrones. Oh man, failed at life.
Damn.
This is why I didn't mention it on the stream. I was just being quiet during that.
Hello, Punkwaddle. He says, I'm not against someone wanting to make a new fantasy series like Game of Thrones, but I can't really accept elf smut from a Tolkien story. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well said. We were talking about this again last night. Who would you say is to blame fundamentally for this? Do you blame Amazon? Do you blame the Tolkien Society? Do you do what the One Ring did and blame the fans?
I mean, I think there's blame to go around, but ultimately, I would say the most of the fault lies with the Tolkien estate for not putting in the restrictions needed. Because I mean, they were so careful with Lord of the Rings, making sure you will follow Tolkien's vision of these films. You're telling his story, not your story that you want to put things in there. Exactly. Christopher Tolkien's death was a huge blow to Lord of the Rings. I do not doubt that if Christopher was still alive, this would not be happening. Or at least the Tolkien estate would be extremely vocal about
it. I would be inclined to agree, to be honest. Given the track record, as you say, there's been over the years so many attempts to bring Lord of the Rings either to life, either TV series that have been pitched and got pushed aside. What Peter Jackson had to do to convince them to make these films.
And then you guys mentioned it yesterday. The fact that there are multiple interviews where Peter Jackson's flat out saying that he is trying to tell Tolkien's story, not his story. And that came through, because while they did have to make a few adjustments here and there because it's, adapting a book to a movie, there's some things that work in books that don't work in film, the whole changing of mediums and everything like that. They do stay pretty faithful to Tolkien's story. They don't drastically change the characters all that much. The Hobbits there were some other issues.
Yes. I don't think any of us think that The Hobbit needed to be 3 films. Even Peter Jackson said it didn't need to be 3 films. But the studio was like, no, it's got to be a trilogy.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, they're going to have the hell out of that book. And they did.
And we've got to have an elf fall in love with a dwarf, even though that kind of ruins Legolas and Gimli forming a friendship, because that's what was so significant about it, because it's never really been done, because elves and dwarves have hated each other for a long time. But no, there was a relationship before them.
Absolutely. And hello, Yvonne Solomon. Good to see you. The precedent for deviating from canon has already been set. Just look at the Hobbit movies. Yeah, I would agree. As we were just saying, there was a lot of studio interference pushing for these films. What they wanted to do, obviously, was recreate the success that Lord of the Rings had. But it's you can't get lightning in a bottle twice.
But they need to make it more relevant, because otherwise they need to make it more available. They have to make it more available to the general masses, because no one cared about the Lord of the Rings films.
Yes, they kind of went under the radar. They were little pulp films,
small little movies. I mean, that logic is so idiotic.
Did you talking about that? Did you see obviously what they said about poor Ian McKellen? Basically, they kind of used
using him as a shield.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And I read the article that he pulled up. It was like one little thing from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I
mean, took some digging to find.
Yeah, and no one's really mentioned it in the last 20 years. So that tells me you guys are reaching for anything.
Yes, I hope they stretched before they did that reach. It was amazing.
I don't. I want them to pull something.
Well, they sure as hell pulled something. Yeah. Pretty much all interest in this upcoming show, by the looks of it. But again, it comes back to that whole idea. This isn't yours anymore. This is ours. We're going to bring current politics and current day issues into a fantasy setting, because that's exactly what it needs.
Right, because trans rights issues is something that's so interwoven into the story of Middle Earth, and in a medieval type setting where every single day is a struggle to survive. That's so important.
Yes. So you've got elves and dwarves and men and all this kind of conflict going on, and this is what they want to focus on.
We need to have a female Gandalf. Got to do it. Even though the books clearly describe that the wizards are old men, because it was a way of limiting their power. That's the lore that we have to follow. They're because they're basically angels.
Means nothing.
They're I know, I saw that. That's just coded messaging.
Yes, that's just it's just something that you can use as a footnote. The law doesn't actually have any impact. It doesn't mean anything to the fans. It doesn't mean anything to people that have read these books since they came out. As you say, the films came out 20 years ago. Nobody who watched those remembers them. would you say that this is a case of taking something that's popular, an IP, and just dumbing it down for the masses?
Yeah, I would. I think it's. I mean, they've already said that they want to reach a global audience, despite the fact that Lord of the Rings has already been translated into over 30 languages, and it has stood the test of time. People
Including
love
the
these.
original Klingon.
Yeah. It just it has sold over 150 million copies, I think, something like that. Like, you don't get much more popular than Lord of the Rings. You don't need to make it more relevant and accessible. It already is.
It is. And I think it's also a case of you're kind of talking down to your audience if you think people aren't smart enough to understand the lore. As you say, these books are there. Tolkien is known as the father of modern fantasy, or one of the greatest authors of all time, for a reason. And Ren Zero exactly isn't Lord of the Rings regarded as the best book of the 20th century.
By many, yeah.
And hello, Brides today. Imagine using words like global audience and then accusing others of coded language. It tells me they should spend more time reading books instead of burning them. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, when I started reading the thread, my first reaction was, "Fool of a fan site! Throw yourself in next time and rid us of your stupidity."
It was bizarre, wasn't it? I mean,
It really was.
kind of had to backtrack right to the beginning of this thread to find out what the heck was actually going on. And the first part of this entire thread was just them tweeting to themselves, like a chain of tweets, and they were trying to
pay attention to
give their
me, damn.
oh, they got attention, most certainly. Not the attention probably that they expected, but they certainly got attention. And as we said before, the official site and official Twitter have been very, very quiet about this. I can't imagine they're very pleased, though.
No, I think the official people they've done the right thing. Just like, we're staying out of this.
Yes. So these are those toxic fans they were talking about.
Yeah.
And it's the people that are trying to get interviews with us. Interesting. Big thank you to MB Geek like Talk. You've not experienced Tolkien already in the original Klingon. Exactly. Jesse knows what's up. Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, thank you. Pungwaller says, not that it's a new idea, but we are seeing the slippery slope of how writers have inserted their own ideas into these properties when making live action adaptations, and it's almost an expectation. Pretty much, to be honest. Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, you obviously said right at the beginning that you kind of are used to this treatment by now because it's happened with so many IPs that we love. It's like if you speak out or if you say, you know what, I don't like where this is going, you're automatically labelled. And it all goes back to this whole idea of this isn't yours now, this is ours. But we're not gonna take time and invest and learn.
But they're against
about
gatekeeping,
the IP.
remember?
Oh yeah. Gatekeeping is bad, except when they do it.
Right.
But yeah, as I said with you, how do you feel as a fan? To get another IP that you didn't expect to be taken over has been taken over and kind of corrupted.
A little shocked that happened to Lord of the Rings, since they were so careful for such a long time, and I know that was mostly Christopher. But I thought the Tolkien estate would have done better at keeping things sane with Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just another one. Star Wars, Star Trek,
Clearly,
Doctor Who, and we could just go on and on and on.
I know we are actually, I think, running out of IPs at this point. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, where the hell do you go? Because even things like Discworld has gone woke with the watch. We've got tabletop games. We've got gaming. Um, Anything that people used to use as a way to escape is now being dragged into and having current day politics pushed into it. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, I
and
I even
Renzira
saw.
brings up another good one. Sorry, sweetheart, carry on.
Yeah, Sandman. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I even saw an article like last year about how we can't allow people to have escapism because then it takes attention away from these important issues. And I was just like, oh, fuck off. We need escapism.
Yes, especially fantasy. You
Mm-hmm.
know, this is the whole point of Lord of the Rings. You know, when Tolkien wrote this, he wrote it whilst he was in the trenches. You know, this is where the idea came from, and it was
Mm-hmm.
interwoven into the stories, his experiences. You know, Sam
Mm-hmm.
is basically the everyman hero
Mm-hmm.
of the story. And Speak for the Dead, he says these psychos will not be satisfied until they've ruined everything. It's the ultimate narcissist point of view. If I can't have it, no one shall.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Ah,
This is
and
true.
this is true, absolutely, Louise. You know, I think we were talking about it again yesterday, and we've also said it in the past. If you don't have physical copies of these films or books, get them, because I've got a sneaking suspicion things are going to be changing, things are going to get
Mm-hmm.
edited.
Mm-hmm. They did it with Back to the Future not too long ago.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
And
And
then they were called
even some
out.
things that, yes. Can you imagine if people hadn't actually caught that, though? It does make you wonder what else has been changed that kind of slipped under the radar.
Yeah. I mean, it's something. I mean, or uh, Daryl Hannah's butt in Splash. You know, it's like
Oh my God.
it's a minor thing. You know, it doesn't change the story in any way. But it's like if it happened there, it can happen with other things.
Hmm? Renzira says, what happened to Back to the Future?
Oh, there was like a shot in Back to the Future 2 when he's thumbing through the almanac and he realizes that they've been switched to the girly magazine, and
Hmm.
they simply cut out the over the shoulder shot of seeing the women in lingerie, and they just cut from that just to Marty reacting to it as opposed to showing what was in it. That's what they tried to do.
Ah. So just that kind of innocent little reaction.
Yeah,
And that's the
yeah, and the
very
camera show, and the camera just
pure.
this was just confirming that Biff had switched out the almanac. You know, so like he starts flipping through it, and then there's pictures of women in lingerie. That's what happened. Like so you realize at the same moment Marty does. So yeah, they edited it.
Oh God.
I meant story-wise.
Yes. We're not knocking on Daryl Hannah's butt, but it was bizarre, wasn't it? It really was.
Yeah.
And
it looked
the
terrible.
really bad. It really did. I thought it was just something that somebody had done as a joke, and then we found out no, they actually covered it, and it doesn't even match up with the rest of her hair.
No.
And no, thank you, Dadman Walking 55. Thank you, sweetheart. He says, wanted to send some support. The strive to change all of the law is a reflection of arrogance and of the studios and their minions. Well said.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know what the worst part is, though? You we're being blamed now for this, but when it does fail, and I think all signs point towards it being a loss for the studio, given how much money they're sinking into this project.
It's insane how much money they're
again.
spending on this.
It's the most expensive TV show ever made, isn't it? Or it's going on to be when all is said and done.
Yeah, it's like what like 500 million now?
Yeah. And they haven't even started filming yet.
I mean, I heard that they use that there have been like 2 pilots shot, and Amazon keeps going, yeah, no, you need to redo it.
You know, this needs more nudity.
Right. It'll save on costuming. They'll just, everyone's a nudist. There are no costumes. That's how they're saving money.
And Air Gaming 15 says they've been shooting. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, but I've heard they've like started up and like keep stopping.
Yes, I heard it was starting for real in July, but there's so many kind of conflicting threads of information going on at the moment. I'm not entirely sure. Oops. Gaming says J.R.R. was directing the pilots. Ah, okay. Producer's notes needs more of smut.
Why elf smut? I mean, we have midgets for the dwarves, so just go with them.
Oh my god.
Get that fetish going too.
They just make, a separate version of that if that's what they want to make, and just keep it out of the actual story.
Snortopupus.
Now you're just writing episodes for them. If this happens, I'm going to blame you guys. Yeah. Oh my god, you guys are the best. But yeah, what's your prediction for this? Do you think it's going to be a colossal failure? Do you think they're going to, keep doubling down on this?
The fan site or
the fan site? I think is going to keep doubling down because
I mean, to
where else can they go from?
I mean, to openly go after 2 of the most visible fans of Lord of the Rings on YouTube is just unbelievably stupid. And
yes,
I'm sure Nerderotic will have a response ready at Friday Night Tights this evening, and and Just Some Guy's already done a video where he tears them to shreds.
Yes, he does. Yes.
I mean, you've messed up with a Tolkien fan when they're yelling at you in Elvish.
But that's the thing, they had these fans, and I'm saying Drotic tried to explain to them, Just Some Guy tried to explain to them, and they were pretty racist to him, to be honest.
Yeah.
Talking down to the fans. That was not a good look. That was
Well, Ed, to call
wow.
just some guy racist was just what?
Mm,
Wow.
it's gonna be an 8-hour stream. It would not surprise me, Luckily
I
that
think I think this is going to be a longer one. Oh yeah, and the EFAP guys are going to be on tonight too.
yes they are. Yep.
Yeah.
So definitely want to watch it. And hello, Eric K. Good to see you. I did see you in the chat, sweetheart. Oh my god. Was this something that, when it was first announced, was it something that you were interested in, or did you kind of roll your eyes and think, I don't really need a Lord of the Rings TV show. We've got the films. They pretty much told the story that we needed.
In a perfect world, I would be fine with a Lord of the Rings prequel show. But when they announced it, in the time period that they announced it, my first reaction was, oh no. Well, we'll see what they're going to do. And then more information just kept coming out. It's like, oh, they're going to really screw this up. I want to be proven wrong. I would love if this show was phenomenal. I just don't think it's going to be.
Do you think that's because of the track record we've had with previous IPs that we've been fans of, because we're kind of used to being let down now, to being lectured? Or do you just think it's because of current day politics that they're clearly trying to interject?
Well, I think it's both. I think it's both of those things. Because I was okay. So I've been a Star Trek fan my entire life. All the way since I was like 4 years old is when I fell in love with Star Trek. So when I first heard that they were making a brand new Star Trek show, I was excited. Yes, Star Trek back on TV where it's supposed to be. And then we saw what they came up with. So it was a massive disappointment, and it was filled with identity politics while also being just badly written.
Oh, but Josh, you're an Istonophobe for not liking this crap.
I know.
Clearly, you were never a fan to begin with.
I know.
But
we'll just ignore the fact that I have been watching reruns of Star Trek since I was 4, when my dad would tape them off of TV because they were on past my bedtime, and then we'd watch them in the morning before I went to school. Those memories don't matter for anything, apparently.
I love that. I always love hearing how people kind of came into these TV shows, whether they were introduced to it by friends, family. All these shows, especially Star Trek, seem to have this kind of family connection where it was passed on from the generations, the same as Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Gogo13, thank you, sweetheart. He sends us a $2 super chat. He says, at this point, they realised they docked off. I think so, but the problem is, because they've spent so much money on this upcoming show, they've got nowhere to go with it.
Right.
So you've just got to go ahead. Perez.
The finest weed in the Shire. I want to be able to make a smoke ring that looks like a boat. That's awesome.
That would be a hell of a party trick. That really would.
Parties? What's that?
Yes. See, back when we were kids, there used to be this thing where you could actually get together in a social gathering with people that you liked.
Oh, that's evil now.
Yeah, we can't do that now. No. Fortunately, we have YouTube, so we can hang out together and do it this way. But oh my god! And there used to be things called fan conventions, which were fun. Back
Ooh.
before fans were, Iston phobes, and if you don't like it now. You were clever. You were never clearly a fan to begin with, and this isn't for you.
Yeah.
Sort of people.
I just saw that one.
Different types of gathering, but I respect anybody. Go for it. Sad Man Walker says the only movie I saw with my grandparents in the theatre was Star Wars in '77. Can't take away that memory.
Aww,
Absolutely.
that's amazing.
That is a fantastic memory. But it's the same with Lord of the Rings for me. I went to see every single film several times actually with friends and family, and to see them up on the big screen was amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed all of them. I even saw all the Hobbits in the theatre as well. God help me.
Yeah, I went to the Hobbit films. It started off optimistic. Then, like at the end of the first one, I'm like, that's all? They're not even a quarter of the way through the book. It's like the Hobbit is not that long compared to the Lord of the Rings. Like,
it's about less than 300 pages, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's like yeah. Yeah.
What the hell is going on?
I don't know. So I was
I've got to admit, I did. Sorry.
So yeah, like when the first movie ended, I was like, they're not even a quarter of the way through the book. What? How could there be more minutes to the movie at this point than pages in the book? How is that possible?
I've got to admit, I was one of those few people that really loved the extended version that they did, where they added the songs.
I will admit, I have not seen the extended versions of The Hobbit yet. It's on my list.
It's worth it.
Okay.
Hello, Mexican Iron Man. Hey, puppy. It says, read my comment below. YouTube restricted my chat, please. Oh, YouTuber censoring again. All right, sweetheart, let me get it. He says, oops, let me scroll up. But still, I mean, someone built on the castles. Is there more to this comment, my love? Let me check. If so, if not, I think YouTube have censored you again, unfortunately. I'm scrolling up and not seeing it.
Is
I
it
think
for the
they might
comments,
have...
or is it because he's Mexican? Why is YouTube being racist?
YouTube being YouTube. I'm so sorry, Mexican Iron Man. Hello, boss. Good to see you. He said these are the same fucks that accuse communities of gatekeeping. Lifelong fans accused of being exposed because these fucks want to claim it as theirs. Absolutely. And this goes back again to, it's the whole idea of, one, they couldn't define what term woke was, even though they were the ones that introduced it to the conversation as a way of deflecting things. And then when challenged on it, they couldn't come up with it, and that's when they started deleting the tweets, which was very funny to see. And two, it comes back to this whole idea, believe my truth. They can throw out a statement and paint everyone with a broad brush, and they think people aren't going to challenge them on it. And it was actually really heartening to see on Twitter how many people pulled them on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Found it.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you, Project Storytime. Appreciate it. Okay, so Mexican Iron Man's comment was, where is Mexican representation in Middle Earth? I mean, okay, Spaniards didn't start banging Native American chicks until the 1500s, after the dragons were long gone. Mexican Iron Man member, 2 months still. I mean, someone built the castles. you, Mexican Iron Man. And thank you, boss. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh. Let's see what Punk Model has to say. It's the simplest form of jealousy. I want what you have. I will take it from you and make it my own. Henceforth, it will never be the thing that you had again. Absolutely, and we've
Pretty
seen it.
much, yeah.
Again. But I think at this point we are actually running out of IPs for them to do this to, and two, I think the fans are starting to just not care. You know, we can always go back to the books, we can always go back to the films, as we said before. We don't have to support this new show that's coming out.
No, the only way I am watching this new show is if Loki drags me in to review it. But yeah, I've lost all interest. I mean, I already didn't have any confidence in the show, but I was probably going to watch it just out of curiosity. But now it's like no, just no.
Just say no. If it is a case that we're going to watch it to review it, to tear it apart, I can see that. I don't know. It's another one of those, you know, we always say you're being disrespected, turn your back on it, you know, close your wallet to this sort of thing. But we've got a ways to go before this thing is actually released. So
yeah. And the thing is, with a streaming service, especially one with like Amazon, I've already helped pay for it. Because
Yes.
I have Amazon Prime, so I've already helped make the movie. So yay!
So it's your fault.
Yes.
Actually, it's all of our fault. So basically, everybody who has an Amazon subscription, we're all to blame for this. And it's like, wow.
Yeah. So what? Like 100 million people's fault.
So in a roundabout way, that Twitter feed was correct. And Gogo13, thank you again, sweetheart. Appreciate that. It says, what a shit show Amazon has got themselves into. Also, you cannot take Lord of the Rings from me, especially since I have the one ring and I belong to my redhead. Oh,
Aww.
Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you, sweetheart. And Louise says, I have no interest in Lord of the Rings show. No more prequels. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hello, William Jackson said that would be a funny review. You kind of see, because you know we've done it before with shows, you know, like Star Trek Discovery. We've done it with Picard. Most of the Marvel shows we skipped over, and we'll continue to do so. But yeah, I can definitely see it tearing it apart. You know, being ironic and doing in a review, but
I actually want to see like yeah, Gollum is not a role model.
Nope. What were you going to say?
When this show comes out, I would actually really like to see Loki do like a Mauler review where it's just like 5 hours long of him just going point by point.
Oh, that would be pretty awesome. And Loki says, "Oh, I'm going to tear this with my dragon claws."
Okay.
Light the fires, boss. Rent Zero points out, if you do plan to watch it, it won't cost any extra as it will be on Prime. It will, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hello, Battlehim 63. I think Amazon just wasted like $1 billion. I would be inclined to agree. I think it could be a massive folly that they've gotten themselves into. at this
Pretty
point.
much.
But you can't back up. There's nowhere to go from this. All they can do is commit. And I can't imagine this kind of negative feedback that a fan site that's supposed to be representing them, or at least representing what they want to show, has done them any good, to be honest.
Ooh, Abu Nas.
Hello, Abelnas. Hello, Mr. President. Good to see you. It says I'm at work right now, but wanted to pop in real quick and show my love to you and to continue speak your mind and the truth. Love you, baby girl. Love you too. So good to see you. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been a while. But yeah, Loki, I really can't wait to see his reviews because Loki, like yourself, like Speak for the Dead, like so many other people here, is a huge fan of Tolkien. They know the books, they know the lore. And again, the idea of being a fan, even the word fan comes from fanatic because the deep love that you have for something. It's not because you're ist or a phobe wanting something that you love not to be changed or corrupted. But they will just keep pushing this narrative, and people are getting sick of it now.
Yeah, I mean, I love Lord of the Rings so much. I spent hours on this Avatar. I didn't just slap this together in like 5 minutes.
I love that Avatar. It cracked me up the first time you brought it up. I was like, oh my god, that's perfect. And who but a true fan would make an Avatar like that, guys? I mean, really. Is there anything else that we've missed, do you think, on this? Because we've kind of gone over the way that they cynically used Pauline McKellen as a shield, at the start of Pride Month, which was kind of disgusting. They went out of their way to bash the fans, and then backtracked.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, the way they immediately just started deleting everything when they got called out because they couldn't back up any of their claims. One of the things they said that was so unbelievably stupid was saying how Tolkien never described the appearance of his characters so they can change them if they want to. Like, what? Are you kidding me? Tolkien didn't describe his characters?
Tolkien described tweets on.
I know.
Tolkien went into such detail in his descriptions. Have you not read
the linguist J.R.R. Tolkien didn't describe how his characters looked? Really?
Oh my god. Yeah, absolutely. Just see the same story from Twitter lately.
This is true.
This is true. And I think at this point, we're all kind of on the same page. We just kind of roll our eyes and laugh at this whole thing. But it's attack on the fans. It's ridiculous. And Renzero has got it yet. Tolkien created a whole universe in detail. Yes, he did.
Yeah. Yes.
Go read the Silmarillion if you want detail.
You want the history of this forest? Here you go. you want Mary's theories on why the Shire has the best pipeweed? Here it is. It's all there.
It's all there in black and white. Everyone says, I always remembered how Tolkien spent whole 2 pages describing a mountain in The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Yes. The damn trees were even heavily described. Yes, they were. And I think Dave Bob kind of sums it up perfectly. Call them out every time. I think that's going to be my takeaway from this. at least this particular situation that has arisen. And I suppose it's also worth pointing out that a petition has also come about to get people to sign to get the nudity out. No, they probably won't, but it's still very funny. But calling it out, guys.
Yeah, an intimacy coordinator in Lord of the Rings. Just why? Why?
Because 2021, that's why.
Because we need to have boobs, damn it. Because that was what made Game of Thrones so popular.
Oh my god. And Chris Berger says Tolkien, who went to great lengths building the world of Middle-earth, that spent what seemed like pages explaining the characteristics of Ents, didn't describe what his characters looked like. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Keep pushing that hashtag, Mark. It'll happen eventually, I promise. Mojo matters, indeed.
Snort of poopus, oh my god.
I saw that. I think we've got really, really silly with this. But that's all we can do at this point. You know, we can get angry and we can rage, and we have done. But I find it a lot more therapeutic just to roll my eyes and laugh, especially because
it's gotten to that.
What a spectacular fail it was.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gotten to the point where it's like, just laugh at them. There's no point in getting angry because that's what they want. They want you to get angry because that's what gives them their endorphin hit. Like, haha, we got them. We got under their skin. So just laugh at them because they can't stand that.
Rise out of them. Yep. Just point and laugh. And then when this thing does come out, if you do not want to watch it, do not watch it. Don't support something that insults the fans. And I would say that with everything. You know, we've said it before with Star Trek. We've said it with Star Wars. We are saying it with Marvel and Disney. If you are insulted, if they call you an istrophobe, close your wallet to them. Eventually, they will have to take note because all these companies want is to make a profit at the end of the day.
Oh yeah. The big mother companies of all this, they just want money. They just want to make money. And if they keep hiring these lunatics that don't care about money, I don't understand this.
Oh, law.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like, care about the lore, you'll make more money.
Law, we don't need law. It's not like there's, you know, stuff that we can pull from and, you know, people love. For shame.
Yeah.
Thank
Lord
you.
Rings, Lord of the Rings has just been relevant for, you know, the last 80 years, but whatever.
Yeah. And hello, nearsighted Cyclops. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Thank you so much, Project Storytime, for joining me today. This has been a lot of fun. It's good to find out that once again we're ists and phobes, and you know we were never clearly fans of something that we loved. But it's always good to be reminded by it,
right?
You know, on Twitter.
It's not like the Brit. It's not like the Brit. It's not like you Brits love J.R.R. Tolkien over there. He's not revered over there or anything.
Yeah, no, he's kind of under the radar. You know, it's a cult thing.
Right.
What have you got coming up, honey?
Well, tomorrow I'll be on Erisa Chaos's channel. She's doing her first watch party for a movie she absolutely despises, The Dark Knight Rises, as a celebration of her 1 year on YouTube.
Oh, that is awesome. What time is that?
That is at 2 p.m. Central.
PM Central. Awesome. Thank you. That's going to be a hell of a thing.
Yeah, I've not seen it since the theater, so that should be interesting.
I was going to say, have you seen it recently, or is this going to be like a something that's going to be a shock to the system?
I remember hating it when I saw it, but I've not seen it since, so that should be fun.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. Massive, massive thank you to everyone in the chat again today. Guys, you were on fire. A big, big thank you to everyone who sent the super chats and super stickers. You guys are awesome. We will be back later on this evening on Loki's channel. There's going to be a movie watch party, and it is Transformers 1986, the animated movie. So we're really looking forward to that. I'll be back on Sunday, and it will be the show that should have been last Sunday. So I'll be joined by Cameron Pasha. I'm looking forward to getting
Yay!
to chat with him. So that should be a great show. And if I don't see you guys again, have a fantastic weekend. Massive, massive thank you. Take care, guys.
Bye, everyone.